I want to hear about the wedding.
I want to hear, we probably want to hear different things about that.
That's true. I don't know. I just like to hear about it. We kind of eloped, so
No, we
well, you
didn't
had
kind of elope. We
Yeah.
did elope.
we just
Yeah.
did. We just went to Mexico.
Well, so for full disclosure, so I was married before, and I had like a 300 plus person wedding.
Oh my God.
And didn't have any interest in doing like it was great. But and Andrew's not really, you're not
I
like
could go. I mean, it was I could go without it.
yeah, you were like, nah, let's just go.
It just seems like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
300 people. Oh my God.
Well, okay. So tell me about, I want to hear about
We
your,
didn't have 300
yeah. Okay.
people.
Smart. You are a very smart person.
We had 60.
Okay.
No, it was amazing. I mean, like the venue, it's not even a venue. It's so the Maytag Ranch, so Maytag Appliances, they have a ranch.
Yeah.
And they allowed us to get married in, they call it a cookhouse. This is totally a bougie clubhouse.
You're like,
What?
listen.
What's a cookhouse for? But yeah, so we were allowed to get married there. And then like super last minute, they gave us the cabin right next to quote unquote the venue.
Mhm.
And they're like, you guys can sleep here, you can get, ready here. And I was like, oh my God, like you're making this so much easier on us.
Yeah.
Because we were gonna get ready at the Airbnb like 10 minutes down the road. And I'm like, how am I gonna get here?
That's,
Like the
yeah,
logistics
right.
was like, okay. But no, it was magical and like it didn't rain. There was no smoke.
Perfect.
Yeah, all things that definitely could have happened this year. Yes.
And it was in Westcliff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a beautiful. Have you been there?
No.
Yeah, beautiful part of southern Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Or southeast.
It's Salida.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's gorgeous.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's beautiful.
The backdrop is just like a bunch of 14ers. And my friend was like, oh, I'd take all of those. I'm like, yeah, I would take my side by side of those.
Yeah.
So they do recommend.
Like,
Yeah.
okay. And then colors. I know you don't care about the color,
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
I'm
what was like the design? Tell me.
It was so funny because I was like, we're not doing navy, we're not doing silver. We did navy and silver. But like it wasn't like the typical like we have dark blue flowers and blah blah blah.
Right.
It was like the linens were dark blue and like I had silver in my dress. It all tied in really, really beautiful. And like you could lift us on a table. So it was like
I love that.
mountain rustic with like I don't know, a little bit classy, like yeah.
Yeah. How'd you find that venue? Like, how were you?
I agreed to it before I ever saw it.
Oh,
Like so
I
oh
like
my
your
God.
style. That's something I would do.
That's definitely something you would do.
That's good.
Because he's like, he told me how much this property means to him. Like,
Mhm.
He lived on it for a couple of years with his sister and her husband.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and his sister, they lived on it for I think, oh my gosh, 11 years. So they had cattle on his property. So they took care of the entire property. So like kind of the groundskeepers, the managers. And he kept telling me about this cookhouse and like he pointed to it as we were, I call it stamping cattle. It's branding. I'm sure you know what this
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were out there for that. Do you guys know what that is?
Like were they,
I
yeah.
know because I've watched Yellowstone.
Yeah, like I've seen it. Yeah. I've never like witnessed it. No.
They totally just like threw me like to the wolves. I am showing up like a Lululemon like ball flying. I'm like, oh my.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know the whole extent of it then.
Oh, Jesus. I'm like pointing to the cookhouse and like, this is like, I need to show you this. I'm like, okay. And like he kept mentioning it. I was like, I mean, should we get married there? He's like, do you want to? I'm like, I trust you.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I mean, I walked in, nobody knew.
So, okay. So you agreed to it before seeing it,
Yeah.
but then you went and checked it out, obviously, and like saw it ahead of time. Yeah.
It was magical. Like,
That's so cool.
yeah, it was
That's
just so perfect. And it meant so much to JD. So I'm like, this is kind of like a no-brainer,
Yeah.
you know?
and he lived there. He lived on like, how was he connected to that ranch?
So his sister,
Okay.
they lived on this property for like 11 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
And they had their cattle on it, which is why the whole branding thing. So like,
Okay.
we went there once a year.
Mhm.
So yeah, and that's how I got to know this property. There's 27 custom home sites. And all I want to do is like put my sign in the front yard.
On all of them.
Yes. Gosh, that's crazy.
It's gorgeous. Like it's like G.E. Johnson, they have a house out there. Like it's
Wow.
magical. I
Yeah.
keep saying that word, but this is like, I don't know.
Now
We
I
gotta
want to
some
go see
pics.
it.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I did see some pics online. So I was like, yeah, I did. I was like looking. I was like, I'm waiting.
So am I. I'm like trying to patiently wait for the rest.
Uh-huh.
Hey guys, like,
Yeah.
you guys busy?
Yeah. How's your summer going?
Just checking in. Right.
Well, that's great. So have you, I mean, do you feel like you've gotten back into because it's probably, I mean, you were probably focused on that for quite a while. Like, has it been weird to like get back into the swing of things a little bit?
No, yes. So like, I didn't let the wedding consume me.
Yeah.
It's like people are like, oh, were you just dreaming of this like when you were a little girl? I'm like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me in a wedding dress. No. Like,
Yeah.
I never wanted to be a princess.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, I don't think I shouldn't wear a white suit, right?
Yeah.
But so my dad was actually here from Germany for
Right. Oh, that's
2 weeks
cool.
after the
Okay.
wedding.
Did he fly in like right before and then,
A couple
okay.
days before, yeah.
Okay.
So like it was really funny because like we didn't really get to have like alone time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, husband. So it was like literally like 2 weeks later, I came home from the airport and I'm like, hi,
How's your month been?
we're married. So it was actually, I mean, it was so smooth. Like, I mean, of course, it's like you go through the roller coaster of planning a wedding
Yeah.
and everybody's like stressing you out and you don't have your dress yet. And I'm like, I have 13 months.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, no, now I'm just selling everything.
Good. Good.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Not my dress. But
I know. I can't actually imagine. And I love you. I love you like dearly. I would get married whatever way you wanted. But like if I had to drag you through like a wedding, I can't actually.
Yeah. Not my style. I would make it happen.
And I know,
You would just
but
do
like
everything, I think.
yeah, no, I would have
I
to
get
be.
bogged down. Like, I think, no, like details, you're better with that though. Like deciding on like a color scheme, I
Like
would
I'm
never,
like I'm a big
I would
picture.
get way too,
like
yeah.
I don't give a shit about like the detail, like the minutia, and you will
I'd
get
get bogged
stuck on
down.
one detail
Yeah.
and you can't process anything else until that detail is like
Yeah.
completed.
It's so bad.
Yeah. And so like I could be like, yeah, that works, and we'll figure that out. But like you would be like,
Okay.
wait, we can't go.
That's why we make a good team.
It
though,
is true.
because you miss
Yeah.
out on the details.
Yeah.
I miss out on the big picture.
Yeah.
But the two of us combined, it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
I like that.
Are you more big picture or details?
all of it?
Yeah.
All of
You're
it.
both.
That's
So, like,
good.
JD can't multitask.
There you go.
Love him to pieces. Give him like 3 things and he's like,
So, okay. So he's like me, but he
Yeah.
probably gets things done really well when he does it,
Yes.
right? When he focuses
Yeah.
on one project, he gets it done.
Yeah.
Okay.
so
That's me.
Yeah.
We're perfect.
Yeah.
What can
Yeah.
we say?
Where like for me, it's like I'm like more of like a shoot than aim sort of gal.
Yeah.
And so,
Right.
I
Which is good in situations
and then
like
like
that.
right, it is good. But yeah, you're definitely more detailed.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah.
well,
It
that's
all worked out.
awesome. Yeah.
and I
good.
can't wait to share more pictures.
Oh,
And I
I'm
wish I could have like, so I made these, oh my God, they're so cute. I made these little chocolate, I didn't make these, I ordered them. Chocolate squares. And then I got these stickers made and I put stickers on the little chocolate squares. So like when people sat down, like they had, I also made like a little tea light with, I'll send you guys pictures.
yeah,
So,
I
like,
really,
little-
I'm like creepily like love this stuff. So like, please, yes, no, I do.
the little presents that like they take home, right? That like nobody
Right.
ever
Mhm.
wants to take home.
Right.
This one I made sure I was like, no, like here's a little tea light that had like a little like it had flowers on it and then a little heart, a wooden heart on it. And it's
That's
like
cute.
the cutest little thing. And then like chocolate squares with their stickers on it, like with pictures from our engagement shoot
Oh,
and like
nice.
all different pictures. So
That's
like
Oh,
people had a way to like, connect and talk about it, like break the
Nice.
ice.
yeah.
I love
And like
that.
all these little things. And yeah,
I love that. And
That's
you
a good
guys are
idea.
going on a honeymoon later, right?
Yes.
Like, okay. And where are you going again?
so Iceland, England, and Croatia.
Oh, wow.
She's just along for the ride.
That sounds
So like,
Yeah.
like when we're leaving.
Yeah.
What?
When do I need to be
That's
packed?
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that
So
sounds
I'm super
awesome.
Excited.
Have you been to Iceland before?
Only like a pit stop.
Okay.
We flew to Paris in December. I mean, like, there's nothing. Like,
Yeah.
when you fly in, have you guys been?
No.
No.
When you
I wanna
fly
go.
in-
I'm always like fascinated by it though. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I feel like a place that I would want to go, but yeah.
So fly Iceland Air,
Okay.
and then you can stop in. So like we're doing England, and you can stop in Iceland for up to 2 weeks, and it's free of charge. Like it doesn't like your connecting flight can be like a week after, and it's
Oh,
that's why we're doing it. I was like,
well, might as
done.
well. Yeah. That's
So like, I
great.
don't know, we're doing like 2 days,
That's
2.5
great.
days.
Okay.
Of course, he's like, "What are we going to Iceland for?" I'm like, "What do you mean, babe?" He's like, "There's a CrossFit gym." I was like, maybe. He's like, "Are we going to do CrossFit?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, that will be, when are you guys going again?
So I was planning on like the end of September and October, but
Mhm.
I think we have to move it up just a little bit because it's like really, really cold in Iceland.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I mean, we're going from like 30s to 74 in Croatia.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
like
yeah.
the suitcase is going to look real funny.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
swing.
Mm.
So yeah, it's going to be like 60s in Croatia in October. And I'm like, oh, but I want to lay on the beach for like at least an
Yeah.
hour before I go crazy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah. That's wow.
Have you
All
been to
right.
Croatia?
No,
No.
I've never been to any of those places.
Okay.
No.
So
Okay.
I will be watching. I will be
Yeah.
living vicariously through you.
I'll be texting.
Yeah. Yes. I know. I have this like big dream down the road. Well, you sort of know. You have to come if you're still
I'm
on
down. Yeah, I think so. I guess I'm learning about it now.
Pictures
This
of
is
me.
this big dream.
No, but like I really, once our kids are, on out of the house and we boot them out, I really want to like, and I do not, and I wouldn't say I'm like a cruise person, but I'm really fascinated by that cruise where you just travel for like a year around to different places.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want to do.
You see a lot.
And you can come if you
Yeah,
want.
thank
Yeah,
you.
you're
Yeah.
I mean, if you
I
don't,
guess.
I'll just like meet her somewhere.
Yeah, y'all can go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, I mean, you can work on the boat.
There
You
you go.
can,
Yeah. Yeah.
that would be,
We'll see.
that would be really, really hard. I feel like.
Yeah, that would. It'd be hard to work out there. Yeah, it'd be very expensive.
Detail.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the detail.
exactly.
He's
That's
already,
what I'm thinking about.
he's already going down the detail road. Like, well, what's the internet? And I'm like, it'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
Okay. He's already
We'd
like
make it work.
cracked.
I know. Like, oh, I don't know what to do.
And you're just like,
Yeah. Yeah. It'll all work out.
All right.
Anyways, okay.
Step back.
Yeah.
Give us an intro to who you are, who you work with. Tell us about your real estate background and about how many families you help per year.
ooh, like a 4-in-1.
Yeah. Yeah. Just give
Okay,
some background so our listeners know who you are.
Okay, my name is Jessica Gissa. I work for the agency. I've been doing this almost 8 years. And people think I'm like new at this. I don't know why they keep saying that. I'm like, I don't think 8 years is new, guys, but cool. So my mom has been a realtor for 23 years. And I mean, if you would have asked me even 10 years ago if I wanted to do real estate, hard no. No.
Just because of the experience that you had seeing her do it.
My
Yeah.
mom, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you probably as a kid got roped into some of that work, right? Yeah.
I mean, like she did pay me, but it was
Right.
like,
Yes.
I'm like, you're cracking the whip. Like, really? I'm like, it's snowing out. She's like, these flyers need to be delivered. So once a month, 600 and like, I think 83 homes. She's probably going to listen to this and correct me, like Texas. I don't know what this airs.
You got the number wrong.
But no, I would go house to house and deliver flyers. But ultimately, like it took so much time away from her and I that I hated it. And I hate to be negative because I love real estate now, but I hated it at this time. Because it just consumed her. And she loves it. Still the same today. I just know how to, I mean, like now I understand. I can accept it. But no, like my passion is fitness. I love working out. I love helping people. I love making a difference. So I got into personal training, but like it doesn't pay anything.
Right.
I'm like, what am I going to do? Like when I'm 80, I'm still personal training. Like, stop. And then my mom showed me 3 paychecks in 1 week. I mean, obviously we know that it takes longer than a week to make this, but it doesn't take longer than 4. Obviously with the showings, but, and she's like, this is how much I made this week. And I'm like, oh my God, this is more than I make all year. This is crazy. And she was like, I think you'd be really good at it. So that's when I was 29. It's like when you're 18, like I'm not gonna go sell a house when I'm 18. Like who wants to buy a house from an 18-year-old?
Right.
So yeah, I just decided like, I think like I can still help people. I can obviously increase my savings,
Yeah.
you know, and that's ultimately like, I don't want to say money is why I got into it. I mean, it's a big factor, but I think still being able to help people make a difference.
Yeah.
You know, like the customer service part of it.
Yeah. I think like too, and I try to like always reflect on like how I felt in my 20s, but I feel like as you start to inch towards that like later 20s, like 30, your values change, or you start to have like a more, at least for me, like a longer term thinking mindset around like, okay, like, is this thing that I'm doing right now, like really going to be working out in the next, 20, 30 years? And so I feel like it's just difficult because I feel like our society plops people out into like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 with this idea in their heads that they should know what they're going to do the rest of their life. And like, I didn't, you didn't.
Most people don't.
No.
Right.
No. And so I feel like what happens is then you just like waffle in this, like when you're 23, 24, and it's like a pretty difficult time, I feel like, for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Because you feel like everything should be figured out. And it's not like, that's just not the way it is, And
then you have that ideal like life in your head. Like when I'm 25, I'm going to be doing this. And then you get to 25 and you're just like, wait, what? Like this is, I still feel like I'm 12. Right. Yeah, totally. Right.
Still don't know.
Right.
Well, some people got it right.
Some people figure it out. Yeah. They do.
That's dirt bikes for a living.
Yeah. Yeah. And you did, didn't you? Or
I mean, no.
Okay.
I did it for fun.
Yeah.
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 I know. Talk about that, because I just love that you do that.
I mean, Nitro Circus. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
Okay, so that was like,
well,
how did you get in? Hold on.
Yeah.
How did you get into it?
Yeah, like what? Yeah. How did you get into it?
My dad, so my parents got married on a street bike, not as in like a road bike, like a motorcycle.
That's
when I say street bike here, people think it's like a road bike, right? No, I don't wear spandex.
Yeah.
I around bikes. I got my first street bike when I was 19. And then I met a friend of mine, and he's like, hey, I'm riding my dirt bike. You want to come watch? I'm like, yeah, cool. I saw him like, just, oh my God, this tabletop was like 120 feet and just jumping this giant tabletop. And I was like, I want to go do that. And he's like, okay, like, you have any gear? I'm like, none.
Nothing. I got
like,
nothing.
I thought you had it.
I can't even make stuff. He's like, okay, like go buy some gear and I'll show you what to do. And I'm like, okay, I'll go right now.
Yeah.
I literally
And
left. I literally left and just dropped, like I got boots, I got a helmet, everything. I was like, what do I need? I came back and I was like, show me what to do. Yeah, and I got hooked.
Yeah.
Hooked. This is gonna sound ridiculous. I love jumping.
Yeah.
Thanks. So like
just the rush from it.
Yeah. Like you look at this and you're like,
oh, before this podcast, she actually was jumping in the garage.
All right.
No, I just
like,
trying to convince somebody to let me in. No, so like, I'm a terrible jumper, like volleyball. I couldn't. Yeah, no, I was better because I couldn't jump. But give me a board or a dirt bike, and I can jump those.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Give me a hill. So yeah, I mean, like, so I was in a stunt bike crew, with my street bike, and then bought dirt bikes. Moved to Phoenix. Rode there, got a freestyle ramp because that's what you do. My mom wanted to kill me. So like in the X Games, those freestyle ramps.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your mom saying to her? I could just like picture this.
Thank God she worked a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you could maybe like, not give her all the details, but.
I mean, yeah, when she showed up at the hospital.
Oh, God.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, no, and then, God, at one point I had 4 street bikes. Well, I had 2 street bikes and 2 dirt bikes. It was just too much.
What was your worst injury from that?
Oh, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
This was
you
like
don't
my
have to.
mom might see this. It's not a good cry.
Gotcha.
No, hitting a tree, and being out cold for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Losing almost all my memory. Yeah.
Wow.
So thankfully I got it back.
Yeah.
But I don't want to details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's totally fine.
But
Yeah,
no,
that sounds intense. It sounds like a dangerous sport for sure, but exhilarating. Yeah.
Did that change that
It
experience?
started it all.
Did that
started it?
What did it start?
The whole thing. This was in the very beginning of when I learned.
Gotcha.
And it just, I was obsessed with it. I was like, I'm still alive. It didn't kill me. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kept pushing.
What do you think? Like, have you always had that feeling, like growing up when you were a kid? Like, did you always have that feeling of like wanting to do things and like push yourself to do crazy stuff? Like, has that always been innate in you?
Yeah. I don't know. Like I love the adrenaline. Like even snowboarding.
Yeah.
Like for a husband. Like he's really, really good. And like he's just like, oh my God. Like you just go so fast. I'm like, I love it. I love the speed. And then it's like, I don't know. Of course, like now I'm like, okay, I've had 11 concussions. Like there's no more going upside down on the wakeboard. Like I'm so much more girlfriend. I'm cautious. But yeah. I just love it. Like the rush, like when your heartbeat's just like coming out of your chest and then just everything goes silent.
Yeah.
And you're like, here we go.
Yeah.
It's time.
You're like that too. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've never gotten, I mean, have you gone skydiving before or bungee jumping? Yeah. Dude. Skydiving is pretty crazy. I've done that.
But don't put me on top.
That's pretty crazy. You should, I mean,
jumping?
No, I haven't. No, I've been skydiving. Yeah, I got a lot of that rush from like football.
Yeah.
Football's like that where it's really at the start of every play. It's like that, it goes quiet and it's just basically your instincts, and then it's just in that creativity aspect of it too, which you probably get from wakeboarding or snowboarding where it's, you can make something, beautiful. It's almost like art, just with your instincts.
Yeah.
And that gives you a rush, making a big play. So I think I got a lot of that in like football and basketball and stuff too. Yeah.
I can relate. I mean, like competing in CrossFit, the same thing. Like you a time to go on that floor, you're like,
same thing. Yeah.
Here we go.
And do you compete in CrossFit? Like, do you do the competition? Yeah. Okay.
Typically when there's a competition, I get hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Really?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Like I competed on a broken foot.
Really?
Didn't tell anybody. I was like, this is really going to hurt. This one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
5.5 months.
Dang.
Because I kept taking it off to break up.
So
oh my God, you guys are this.
I know. No, she's more intense than me. No, I mean,
but like, so pissed at him because he would come home from like basketball or like he got basically, I don't even know what happened to your neck.
I took a really hard shot in like the windpipe. Have you ever been hit like right in the throat in basketball last year? Yeah, it was pretty, it was kind of scary actually. Yeah, I still play in like a, I don't know, competitive men's league.
Yeah, but like he'll
that hurts though, right? Like even touch it a little bit, right? If you get hit and it was just an accident, but like, it kind of makes you, I'll be 41 tomorrow. So I'm kind of like at that point to where I'm like, I'm like old. I know, right? But no, like you start to get hit a few times and concussions, I've had a few of those. You start to just be like, all right, like where's my limit? And am I going to be doing, significant damage to my body, long term? You don't want to do that, but you also want to get that rush. But I get a little bit of that from, like the sales stuff that we do, and I don't know if you're able to capture some of that in real estate, but like, that's why I like just the 100% commission aspect of being in sales because there's a lot on the line, and so like, and you get paid and you get accomplishments based on your performance, which I really like.
Do you feel sort of like that with real estate or is it no?
It's different.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
What sort of drives you with real estate? Like what pieces do you love about it?
My clients. Yeah. It's so funny. Like when people ask me like how much I sold this year, like I can't tell you, but I can tell you how many families I've helped. Because that's what drives me. Like you know, $1 million homes, yeah, that's great. We all know the commission on that. Like,
Mhm.
that's
Right.
amazing, right? But it's like, it doesn't drive me.
Mhm.
Like, I showed a house, oh my God, 2 hours and 45 minutes away last week, and it was $206,000.
Mhm.
Like, the first thing that when I tell my coworkers, like, what I'm doing, like, oh, but it'd be worth it. I'm like, but what makes it worth it? Like, does it have to be a $3 million house for you to drive out there? You know, it's
Yeah.
like, so these are friends of mine that wanted to
Mhm.
see this house. And I was like, yeah, I'll totally do it.
Mhm.
I'm like, you know, if I show them 7 homes or more, you know, it's the same thing.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, it's just customer service. That's what drives me.
Well, I think that's where your like values really have to come into play, and like your why. Like if you're walking into your life or your job with like this idea of like, hey, like my primary focus is to like help as many people as I can.
Yes.
Right. And I think, I mean, that's something just at least that I'm always thinking about. It's always like, how can I like help this person with like their job, or how can I help this person like with the process of like getting along? Like, what are the things that we can do to like make this as meaningful and like great as possible? And I think when you do that, instead of like thinking from this mindset of like, how can I get as much money as possible today? It changes the way that you think and the way that you act, you know?
And it makes it fun, right? Because like when you're really focused on trying to get that deal done for the commission, it's stressful.
Yeah.
Right. So if you go at it of just like, I'm going to add value to these people, even if it's 3.5 hours away to see a $200,000 house, whatever. Right. It's that makes it fun, right? It makes it worthwhile and makes you feel like you're doing something bigger than yourself, you know,
which really like should be the whole goal anyways, to like help human beings on the earth. I don't know. I mean, that's just like, I came from education. So like for me, it's just, I mean, it actually doesn't really matter like what profession you're in. If you have the same like why, you know, like it actually doesn't matter what you're doing, like whether you're personal training or doing, you know, doing real estate, you can still walk in wanting to make someone's life better. Like that's really, I mean, that's it, you know. I mean, I want to make your life better, which is why I bother you all the time.
With a cruise, you know.
And you're really looking forward to the cruise. I don't know if I could do that.
Still not easier, but it's more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not pushing it on people.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I'm a realtor. No. Like, they ask me what I do. Like, oh, I'm in real estate. They want to talk about it, we talk about it. But if they don't, cool. Like, who are you? You know?
Well, it's like connection. I mean, like if you, and I like do leadership development training, but like if you're never going to build trust and credibility with someone if they don't know who you are as a human.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like for me, it's like that piece of me is one chunk of who I am, but like, it's certainly not everything. And it's not, I mean, it's not everything for you. It's not everything for you. And so I think like showing people like, hey, like, this is who I am. Like, these are the things that matter to me in my life. And like, but like, that's going to build trust and credibility more than all the other, like, like how well, you know, real estate. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
Because people, if they look at you and trust you as a human, they're going to trust you with any of those pieces, you know? And so I think that that's a way more valuable place to spend your time than like talking to them about how many homes you've sold.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't put myself on a platform. Like, I don't see myself as anything special. Like when I hear like, oh, you've been nominated for a top agent, I'm like, did you get the wrong email?
Like, was it?
It's a spam. No, it's just, I don't know. I don't think it's ever going to like, I'm never going to be like, I'm a top agent. Like, no.
Okay. But here, okay. So here's like I like deeply, deeply believe this. And I've like talked to you about this multiple times. So you're probably going to be annoyed that I'm saying this again. I feel like when you are just like who you are, like when no matter what, like if you're in a professional setting and you're, you know, with your family, with your friends or whatever, like if you are just like who you are and you are authentic, like people pick up on that and like they want to like work with you because they know who you are. right? Like they can say, okay, like I know like Jen cusses a little, like she's probably going to cuss a little in like a situation she maybe not shouldn't. But like,
And I'm not trying.
no, but like, that's who I am. And so like, people know who they're getting, like, it's not going to change whether I'm here or like, you know, at my house or like, and so I think that people really like value that in business, you know,
What's who you are.
Totally. And it's so much easier, by the way.
It's like when I first met you guys, I was like, these guys are awesome.
Yeah. It's so much easier. Okay. My funny, and then you have to tell me your funny story. So when I was a principal,
hang on, you were a principal?
I was, yeah. I know. Isn't that
the hottest principal ever?
Right. I know.
So no. So I was a principal and it was really funny because most of my time in education has been in high schools. So like you can act a very different way in a high school than in elementary school. Okay. So I got plopped into an elementary school one year and it was really funny because like I cuss a lot, like it's, you know, and so one time I was doing announcements and I didn't put my phone down.
Oh no.
And the middle school principal was in my office and she is worse than I am. And so we're in there and I literally see like 3 teachers like running through the hallway being like, shut up. Like, and so I called my boss and I was like, hey, and he knew like how I was. And I was like, I just heads up. Not sure like what got just FYI, I'm the first principal to say a cuss word over the loudspeaker. Like,
it's the same
surprise. Yeah. Anyways, okay. Tell me your story.
During our rehearsal dinner. This is so bad. So I am like known for the worst timing. We're all in a circle. We're praying before dinner. And my phone, I tried to put my phone in my fanny pack. I'm wearing a fanny pack.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Setting up, so I kind of have a fanny pack.
Yeah, you have it right. Yeah.
So I put my phone in and I forgot to zip it and it falls out. And during the prayer, and it was like the transition and it was all silent. I was like, oh shit. I was like,
sorry. Oh God.
Everybody.
He was looking at you.
Oh man.
That's bad.
So yeah. Can we start this over?
That's amazing.
I mean, it's bad. Like with my kids, like I cuss, like it's just really bad. And I, cuss in front of them when they were little. And so my son, we were like sitting at breakfast one morning and I think he was 2 and we were at this hotel and he goes, the server comes up and is like, can I get you anything else? And he's like, I need some effing ketchup. And I
know. And he could barely talk.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was barely talking and we were like, oh God.
Oh no.
And Andrew just looks at me and he's like, that's so you.
Yeah, that is all you know.
I think we did because we were just so shocked.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And
he hasn't done it since.
Here's the thing. It was like, he said it in a great context. Like he needed some ketchup.
Yeah. He used it correctly. Exactly. I want to hear about your story and just kind of the impact that it had moving from another country to the US when you were 12 years old. Tell us about that. Yeah.
I think when I was told that we're moving, it didn't even like register. It was like, like you're 12.
Yeah.
We're moving to the States. Okay. All right. But
had they talked to you about it like before? Was it like a very, okay. So it was something that like had gotten brought up before.
Yeah. And it's so hard because I don't really like remember how far before, but like, yeah, I'm 12. We're moving to the States. And I mean, like my mom's the only one from Germany here. So like the rest of my family is overseas.
Mm-hmm.
So I was class president when I was 12. Okay, it's really important.
I mean,
it's a big deal.
Serious. Yeah.
And then now we move here and I don't even know how to ask for the restroom. I had no idea. I was like, okay, there's a toilet.
Yeah.
They're like, restroom? I'm like, yep. And then I'm like, so restroom and bathroom, what's the difference? What?
Gosh.
Oh my gosh. And it's just like so awkward,
Yeah.
And it's like in middle school too, like, I don't know, it's so hard. People have no idea like why you can't speak English and like, So it was hard.
Right. I mean, middle school alone is like the craziest experience. Like, I mean, it's like working in a middle school, you just see so many, like, it's so difficult for kids. Like, you just like, so I can imagine how, I mean, that just adds like a significant layer of difficulty onto that social experience.
Yeah. And like in Germany, you have so much freedom. Like we rode our bikes to school. Like when we wanted a snack, we could go off campus, go to the bakery. Like nobody was telling me like, oh, you can't leave the school.
You just peace out and like,
and I was like, hang on, like there's nothing weird here. Like, okay, it's so interesting because like I mean in Germany everything is so small, you know, like you have this town, like you have bakeries, you have whatever, you have supermarkets you can just walk to, and like here I have a school bus.
Yeah.
Like I'm being told I have 25 minutes to go eat in the cafeteria, and I'm like, I don't know anybody. But it's okay. I mean, like I played volleyball, so that was good.
Right.
So yeah, and then the kicker is like I went to a not a special middle school, but like one that had ESL, and then I went to a different high school to where like those middle schoolers went to a different high school. Like so, my friends are by, and now I'm back to square one, and I'm like, man, this really sucks.
Yeah.
So and then corruption started. I was like, cool, well, people party. That's how I'm gonna make friends, and yeah. So I played volleyball, tennis, and in like my high school year, like you know, like when you can pick your classes, I had like 4 like PE classes. I was constantly doing PE.
Yeah.
Just that sounds
PE
familiar.
all day. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just couldn't stand sitting still for 2 hours or however long a class was back then.
Right.
Sitting through math, was terrible.
I was so good at math because I was so many years ahead. Like education in Germany is like way ahead. And then like high school happened and I was like, whatever.
Yeah. Was it easy then? Like, because you had
middle school was really easy.
Yeah.
And probably math was probably like a saving grace for you because it was something that you could, I think with like ESL kids that I had, like it was they were so happy to be there because they like could do the numbers. Problems. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And then like, I mean, in high school, like who cares about math?
Yeah.
Right. No, totally. Well, you did, but
I mean,
yeah. Trying to skateboard, hang out with those boys.
Yeah. Was sports like a really great way for you to like connect with people? Like, is that how you started like connecting with like new people and new friends in middle school and high school?
What's funny, because like, so I walked into like tennis tryouts. I've never had a lesson in my life. It's senior year. I was like, I'm gonna go do this. I've been playing since like with my dad since I was 9. And they're all wearing their skirts, and I'm literally wearing like skater shoes and like baggy pants. And I'm like, what's up? And
I love it.
Like, I'm gonna destroy all you guys. Let's go.
Yeah. And did you?
I did. Yeah. And like I couldn't play singles because they didn't know how to count. They're like, can you count? I'm like, nope. Like, what? You got to play number 1 like doubles varsity. I'm like, done. Yeah. So like, there's a picture of me in like my yearbook wearing like a Volcom hoodie, playing tennis.
That's great.
That's so awesome.
Oh man. Yeah.
That's great. I mean, what lessons do you feel like you got from that experience? Because when I'm trying to like put myself in like your perspective of like walking into a different country, not understanding the language piece, having to fit in middle school. I mean, I'm sure there's been a couple significant lessons that you've taken from that as you've done like new stuff in your life.
Yeah. I think not letting fear take over me. Like, it sounds kind of weird. I love going to events. I shouldn't say I love. Okay. If it's like a real estate event or something like that, or educational, I like going by myself. So it's like, I'm already out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, I can meet new people. I'm not relying on like my buddy to help me, or like networking events, that kind of stuff. I've learned to embrace it and make it a challenge, and now really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because I was so afraid of it. It was like such a dramatic time in my life. And I was like, no, I'm not going to let that affect me. I'm going to let it help me, because I already overcome all that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like that was so hard. This is easy.
Mhm.
Like it's time to shine,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. I think
That's
one
awesome.
thing, like, I mean, we've talked a lot about, but I think when you, on some level, I feel grateful for like the really hard things that we've had happen in our lives. And because I think what it does is you go through something and you realize like you didn't die.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like such a big thing because I think that a lot of people are so scared of some result that they don't know what that actually looks like. But when you like mess up or get humiliated or like do this like really scary thing, and then you come out the other end and you're like, oh shit, like I'm still like, I'm good. Like here, I woke up the next day and actually no one's talking about me. Like, and even if they are, like, I don't know. So it like sort of doesn't matter. I think that, there's a lot of power in that, you know, to just be like, I can do anything I want as long as I just like do it, you know?
Just do it.
Literally. I was looking at your shoes because they're amazing. I know. Christmas present. They're super cute.
I'll have to find out.
A 9.
I was like, I have a pink and a black pair in my car.
Oh, nice.
I love shoes. Jordan, you love shoes too.
Yeah. But no, I think that also being exposed to like a whole new group of people helps build your personality. Like going to different schools, even though it puts you out of your comfort zone. I think it also like I think empathy is one of the most important traits of like a mature human being. And I think that if you're only in one place for your whole life, or you're not exposed to a lot of, and traveling does this too, it like gives you perspective. But I also think it like you being exposed to a whole new country and that new middle school lifestyle. And again, in high school, I think it probably like built up your, you know, your empathy, because you're like, oh, there's all these different types of people, and I know how to relate to them and adapt to them.
Yeah.
You know how like, well, so in high school, I don't know if you guys were part of a clique. I was never part of a clique. I always had all these different friends.
Yeah.
And it's like still the same way today, because I love like all different types of people.
Which is like rare
like
too. Yeah. But that's a great trait to have, you know, because you're able to walk into any situation and like make friends, you know.
Well, and you can find pieces of who you are in every person. And I think that's really important, but it probably comes from you being exposed to lots of different experiences. I mean, even like Dirtbikes and CrossFit, and like, I mean, there's all like every community has like a different group of people, you know? And so I think when you expose yourself to lots of different situations like that you start to understand how there's pieces of every community within you that you can like relate to.
What's the hardest part for you in real estate? Like, what's the hardest part about your job?
I mean, let's take the market away from that.
Yeah.
We can't control that, right?
Yeah.
Oh man. When you guys sent me this question, I was literally looking at it and I'm like, okay, like let's go deep, right? I think the hardest part, I was talking to JD about this. And I was like, you know, I find it really disappointing how some clients treat their agents. And it's because it's not to point fingers. I think it's like some people get in the mindset of like, we are now working for them, and the level of respect gets thrown out the window. And like, you work so hard. Like, I think especially those clients have no idea. Like I lose sleep. It's like when people ask me like, oh, what are your days off? Like, what are my days off? Like, I wake up, I go to bed. Like, it's constant. This is how it is, you know? And I think just the people that don't appreciate you and talk to you in ways that I could never talk to somebody. And it's like, some of them were friends. And they're like, oh my God, what just happened? Because you hired me and now you think you can talk to me like that? And then after the closing, they're totally normal again. And I'm like,
what is going on?
My husband wanted to murder you. Like, then to one of these phone calls, and he's like, you being talked to like that? I was like, I can't do anything. And I hate, like, I love my clients, but you're always going to have those clients that just don't respect you.
Yeah.
That is
It's tough. Yeah.
that is an interesting thing.
That's a good answer.
I didn't say it because I don't,
No, but I do think, I mean, but isn't that like similar to, like sometimes I will like go out to dinner with people or, and you'll see someone that you've like known forever, it could be like a family member, it could be, whatever. And just like interactions with like wait staff or like, or like you'll see someone out like a friend, and you'll see how they interact with like a server. And it really does like mess with you because you're like, wait a second, like
God,
you're like my close friend, like what the hell?
I literally have a list of people like boom, boom, boom. Like, yes.
Yeah. I
go out of my way to make them feel good. Like my goal is if I go grocery shopping, if I like make somebody smile, I love that. So when I like, when people just act like they're better than others, it makes me sick to my stomach. Like I'm like, who
like
that's so
I can't stand
that. I would
really
say
hard.
That's actually like if you could line up all the pet peeves, I feel like that's like your biggest pet peeve.
It is hard because you would like, I don't mind working hard for people, I love it. And if you respect me, then I will work endlessly for you, and like, but then if you don't, it's like, I don't want to help you, because of the disrespect. But yeah, it's hard. I mean, how do you handle that? If you've got a client, I mean, do you just get through the transaction and then just kind of, try and let things go after that? I mean, that's all you really can do. Yeah.
And it's like acting after that.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
Right.
But it does it for like friends though, it does like cause you to rethink your like connection. I feel like,
they're not.
But it is hard. I mean, it is hard because like, sometimes you do get people that don't have the same level of care and concern for like their interactions with people that are helping them. And so you have to, on some level, like be professional and help them. But I think it's also like standing up for yourself. Like you have to, set expectations about how they're going to like work with you, and that's difficult, especially if they're friends or family.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially in an industry where in a market like this, like we want all the business that we can take because it's few and far between. So there's that hard balance of like trying to work with as many people as possible, but also trying to make sure that we're working with people that, work well with us too. That is a challenge.
I think that comes from making sure that you don't have like a scarcity mindset too. Like if there's someone that's like really deeply impacting like your business or, then it's being okay with saying like, this isn't working for me. I don't know.
I have a hard time cutting ties. I'm like, if I cancel this, agreement, I'm like, did I really give it my all?
Yeah.
Am I like, but like, like, you
always know.
Your gut knows. Yeah. And you always know right away too. I feel like, early on, there's like the initial conversation and you're like, this might go sideways. But then you're like, nah, it's just me, but it's like, you always know it comes back.
But I'm like, what do you like? Okay, yes, you're not going to make a paycheck. Yes, you work really, really hard and you're not going to get paid. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's not about the money. It's about like your sanity.
Yeah.
Like, are you sleeping at night?
Okay. Totally unrelated. Well, it's somewhat related. Do you feel like as you get older, I just feel like I listen to my gut instinct far more than I ever did because I realize it's like actually accurate. Like when I was younger, I would almost just think it was like just something silly, and now I'm like, it's just, I don't know, like you do deep, like your body feels when something is wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't listen to it all the time.
Yeah.
In business.
Right.
Everything else, I'm like, totally.
Are you a routine person? I know you talked about CrossFit, so I know exercise is important, but like, what's your morning routine like?
Oh, it's the same.
Is it?
Well, I mean, not
Like-
this morning. I did CrossFit at 6 for you guys.
Love you for that. Love you
Heck
for
yeah.
that.
And I'm like, okay, guys, let's head in here.
There you go. I love that.
Normally I wake up at 5:30 to 6. And I stretch for 20 minutes because God forbid I don't
Yeah.
get moved.
Yeah.
Breakfast, and then I'm in my garage working out at like 7:45. And then CrossFit's at 9. So I do like double workouts a day. Yeah.
So what do you do? Okay, so you stretch, then you eat, and then what's that early workout? Is that just like a light kind of cardio type thing before? Because CrossFit's like intense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know
Her
if the
finger is
camera-
like half falling off. It's fine.
It's bad.
Yeah, I don't know if the
I'm
camera's
wearing
picking
my
it up.
wrist. Like I'm wearing a brace. I should be wearing a brace. But I was like, let's just not. Not a good look today. Hang on, what? Oh yeah, the
So
workout.
is that the early one hard too? Like what?
No, I do cardio for like 15 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know, yeah, cardio is kind of hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like light. I'm not like walking.
Right.
And then like depending on if we haven't done a certain like Olympic lift, I don't know, an overhead squat, or like if we haven't, these people are gonna be like, what is she saying? If we haven't cleaned, if we haven't stretched, they're like, what is she talking about? So I'll do those, but not to the point to where I'm like dead, but like pretty heavy.
Mhm.
And then I have enough time to like get there and like cool back down and start over again. Yeah, but
And then how long is that? You have to walk.
Like I gotta be on the treadmill. Even if we're on vacation, I'm like
Mhm.
repeating to
Mhm.
my legs.
What if you miss that? Like, do you ever miss a workout?
No. I mean, not really.
Yeah.
Because even when we travel, like, so before
Insert Iceland.
I won't book a hotel without a gym. Like, I'll look at the rooms, yes, but like, what does the gym look like?
Mhm.
How close is the nearest CrossFit gym? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's really important. Like,
Do you feel like it's important for your mental health as much as your
Oh, yeah.
physical health?
yeah, I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
like, I always have, like, I pee myself, I can't work out.
Mhm.
And it's like, I make sure it's like when we're on vacation, right? Because they're like, oh my God, she takes time away from her vacation. No, like, it makes me really happy. Like, I will wake up at 5:30
Mhm.
on our vacation to work out so JD can sleep. I'm done working out. I'll get ready. Boom, you're waking up. Like, it
Mhm.
takes no time away from our vacation.
Yeah. Mhm.
So like, even when it comes to like, I mean, I work overseas. It's like, we'll be like, I mean, yeah, I mean, I work, doesn't matter where I am in the world. I will make sure that I am up. I stay up a certain time. I wake up at a certain time so my clients know I'm available. And like, I will make sure that it doesn't take time away from our vacation. Obviously, they're phone calls and stuff,
Right.
but like, yeah, it's a balance.
I think there's well, what's that quote? Discipline equals freedom, right?
Mhm.
Is that from Jocko? Or
Yeah.
I think one thing like we've learned, because we're pretty disciplined, I was not in the last month, but we're pretty disciplined typically with our morning routine and like workouts, and like when do we get up? And one thing like we've really struggled with a lot lately that we're just trying to like figure out is our kids' schedule is now changing constantly.
Oh, that's hard.
Which like for us, I mean, we are very like, this is when we get up, we do a workout every morning. Like we, do gratitude, like read, whatever, all this stuff. But I think that when you're working in a situation like real estate, it provides a level of consistency, having that like routine there in the morning.
Yeah.
Where like no matter what stupid shit happens in your day, like you have success in the morning with
Yep.
your routine, and like your body feels better and like your mind feels better. And like I when there are, the occasional days where we don't work out in the morning, it messes with me all day.
Mhm.
Like my mental, it's not even the physical part for me. It's like my brain needs to work out.
Yes.
Like it just does,
Mhm.
And so I think it's as much mental as it is physical.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
to be able to work at a high level.
Uh-huh.
What are some books and podcasts that have impacted you or that you listen to or that you like have really felt inspired you?
Are we talking work or are we
Anything?
No, either.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
So I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd.
Yeah.
So the very first book I read in English was Harry Potter.
So she pulls
Yeah.
out like she has like
No, I'm kidding. I don't have a wand. Oh.
the kid. We went to Great Wolf Lodge a few days ago, and they have like a game where they can have like Harry Potter wands.
Yeah.
So the kids have one. We can get you on.
This kid was like standing in front of, I don't know, this storefront, and then like you wave your wand to have this thing do something. This kid's like, and I was like, can I have your wand for a second? I'm like, here you go. Okay, bye.
That's awesome.
No, so yeah, I mean Harry Potter.
And those were the first books you read?
Yeah.
Okay.
In English. Like, I mean, I didn't know what it was. I was like, oh, there's a Harry Potter book. This kid's on a broomstick. Cool. And I think just like for me, so I was so uncomfortable being in this space in middle school. Like I took myself out of this space.
Yeah.
So like fantasy, I love fantasy books. Like we're not talking like dragons and Dungeons and Dragons and like The Hobbit. Like I do love those movies. That's not my, like, I love like the wizarding world. I'm such a nerd. Anyway,
Wow. Oh, I love it.
It's staying.
I'm trying. Podcast, because like, I mean, like, it's so hard to read. I'm not,
Right.
I've been trying to read this book in German. It's like the third for the last year now. It's crazy.
Mm.
It's a really good book, but I'm like, look, I love listening to How I Built This with Guy Raz.
Yeah.
I love learning because like for me, I love real estate, but we're working on starting another company and the logistics are so hard, but it's okay. Like if that's all, it's like,
I remember you telling me about that. Right.
you know,
Yeah. But
I think just like learning from others.
Mm-hmm.
I love listening to music, but if I can learn something, if I can better myself, if I can like, I don't know, I've gone down the rabbit hole of like sleep with Matt Walker. Like, oh my God, I'm like 39 episodes into sleep.
Is it helping? Like, have you changed your sleeping habits? Yeah.
And like my poor husband, because like I let him kind of sleep in. I'm just a morning person. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, no, this is why.
You're like, here's all of the evidence and data.
No, it is. It's huge, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is he into CrossFit and working out? Okay.
No, he's in a competition. He has my snacks ready, my gummy bears. When I'm done, he's like, here, sugar, butter. No,
that's awesome.
He's amazing. He's so supportive. Like,
that's great.
Will never do CrossFit, but loves how much I love him.
Yeah. And
he knows that I need him. So his job is super like physical, like demanding, like, so
no, I don't think he could do CrossFit because he's doing so much all day.
Poor man. So we go to Vasa. We try to go once a week, and I play personal trainer. It's so cute. And I'm like,
Podcasts. So one thing I was going to say that I think is interesting that you mentioned as you're like creating this business, is I think one thing that like has really helped me is like, I'll listen to podcasts that have nothing to do with like anything that maybe I'm like focusing on, but it like almost builds creativity in your mind to like think of things that you wouldn't normally think of that relate to like whatever you're focusing on. Right. And so I think if you're just like constantly like learning new stuff, it can just help you with whatever you're working on, and that can be really helpful. Have you ever listened to Andrew Huberman's podcast? Oh, so he's this, it's so good. I went down this like weird rabbit hole with him. He's like a science doctor from Harvard. went, or Stanford, Harvard, I think. But he's really into like health stuff, and sleep being one of them. So he has like a very specific sleep protocol, and like cold therapy protocol, heat therapy. Like he has like a whole thing.
Yeah. Do you do any of that? Do you do like the cold plunges? Have you tried any of that before?
I want to.
Yeah.
I kind of want to buy one, and I'm like, do I need more stuff?
Yeah.
Like I'm already like, you know, like I have the
Yeah.
gym, I have the assault runner, the treadmill.
Ooh, the assault runner. My
He's been
buddy
trying
was
to
telling me
get
about
to
that.
an assault
Well,
runner.
I know that's what he's been. No, I want one. No, because it's basically like you can get all of the benefits from sprinting with none of the impact in like a way shorter amount of time too, right? It's like super efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you just can't do inclines. That's the
Okay.
only thing.
Yeah.
If you're an incline runner, you can't. Like
Yeah.
it's one level, but like you're the engine. So like it's really funny when I go on a treadmill that I can like put my speed in.
Yeah.
I feel like all I have to do is hop, and it's doing it for me.
Right.
On the assault runner, like it is so much harder. So like don't use it for long distance running. Not recommended. It is so hard on your legs because you are driving it.
Gotcha.
Rather
And
than
it's
like,
just like do you do like the interval stuff on that? Or do you do it just for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Like, how do you do it? Because I've talked to a couple of people that'll do like a minute on and then a minute off and then like a minute. And then it's like the sprint aspect.
Yeah. It just depends on like how I'm feeling, I guess.
Yeah.
So like I'll do like, for example, I'm like, okay, let's run a mile. Cool. And then like we'll do 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off till 15 minutes. So I do 15 minutes every morning.
That's legit.
Or I do 30 on, 30 off, 30 on, 30 off for 15 minutes.
Nice.
And then like I try to be how far I go.
Okay.
It's always about, even when I mow the lawn, how fast can I do this? I mean, obviously it has to look good. It can't be like for the whack job, but like how fast can I get this done?
Yeah. Where does that come from?
I don't know.
It's just innate for you.
Like my mom doesn't play sports. Like, so my dad kind of, but it's like, I don't know what it is. Like, I just had this, like, I mean, so in CrossFit, we were a leaderboard. And I recently was asked, like, what's my goal? And I'm like, my goal is to be number one every day.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be on top. It's not like I want to beat my friends, and it's not about that. It's like, how far, like, how much can I push myself? What is my limit?
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, half the time I'm like seeing stars and I'm like, am I going to puke in this workout?
Yeah.
Like, it's just it's weird. I can like, for me, I feel like comfortable in that space. I just say I like night. It's weird.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like pursuing your own potential in a way, you know, which I think is fulfilling.
Isn't that what happiness is?
Yeah.
Wasn't that, what book was that we?
I think it's The Happiness Advantage, where they say the definition of happiness is the pursuit of your potential. Yeah. So it's not actually like reaching the goal, but it's like pushing to get there. Yeah. So maybe that's what it is.
We're like really big Nuggets fans, and I was talking about this last week with Andrew, because it was like, you know, you have watched the Nuggets since you were even
little kid.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But we were talking about it, and I was like, God, I was like more happy like watching them, like, you know, even in 2020 when they were playing, like I've just felt like so much happiness, like watching them like get closer and closer. Yeah. And then I had this like weird sadness when they like won, sort of
like the letdown.
Yeah. And
because that pursuit is done. Right. But that's like, you feel that way after accomplishing a big goal sometimes too. You know?
I know.
Right? Yeah. Cause then you're like, what's next? You know, what's next?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when you're at a closing and you're like,
yeah,
this is kind of interesting. Like,
it's very interesting.
Well, that's one of the most challenging parts for me in this industry, is just the fact that there's like no residual, you know, like you work really hard and you have like a really good month, and then it's like, okay, cool. Now what, you know, and now you got to find new clients and you have to like recreate it. And that I've been doing this for 13 years. So again, you've been doing it for 8. So that's a long time. It starts to get like, it kind of just old, you know, and you have to find new things to try and inspire you.
I was talking to my mom recently, and we both had interesting transactions. I'm not going to say anything because you never know.
Yeah.
But like really hard, you know, where it's like, and I feel like in this market too, like buyers are pulling out more, buyers want more, buyers, and it's very like it's pulling us in all these different directions, and I'm like, sometimes I'm just so tired.
Yeah.
Like, can I do I love my job. I love real estate. So it's like, universe, I love it. Let's not go crazy. Okay. But I'm like, there's more to life than one sale after the next, I know I can do more, especially like listening to these podcasts.
Okay. So last question. If you could tell the world like one thing, what would it be? Or just one thing?
This wasn't it. This is a surprise question.
Surprise question. Just one thing that is.
Let's say one piece of advice.
One piece of life advice.
One piece of life advice.
Okay.
To anyone. This is such a hard one. You threw this at me one time.
I love it.
Like, I know.
No. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something.
Love it.
I love that.
Like, make that fuel your fire and tell them to F off.
Yeah. Love it.
I mean, maybe you don't have to actually say it, but show it.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Because I was in that position and did it light my fire. I'm like, watch me.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
Online. Just type in Jessica Gissa.
I know you're on Instagram.
I am. So I'm not huge on social. I know it's kind of the place to be, but I am such a people person. I'd rather meet people face to face. I don't know. I need to be more on social, sure, but I'd just be a giant dork on it. That's what I would want to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about real estate, sure, but but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've enjoyed having you on.
I know.
I love your personality. You're really motivating too. I just your energy, and you've got that, I can tell you've got that competitive drive that it's, it's motivating to be around. So thank you.
Yeah, you guys are incredible.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for being on, and all of our listeners, thank you for watching. Like us, subscribe, leave us a comment, and check us out on the next episode.
Okay.
Have a great day.